What's up, guys? Seiji. It's been a minute since I made a video about the pod, so I figured that I could do something about that. And for this video, I figured that I would make a patch in real time. Now, I've made a video about how to get a sick tone from the pod for, modern metal stuff about a year or so ago. But since then, I found even more tips to get sick tones. So I'm gonna start from scratch, with nothing, and show you my whole process. And maybe it's just something that you can do for yourself and for your own little setup. All right, let's get started. All right, so I figured for this video I would use the 8 string because it's been a while since I've used it. To start it off, I'm just gonna show just a basic patch. For this video, I'm going to use the Bomber Uber amp because I think it's probably like the best sounding for what I do. It has I think it's like the closest to the PV 5150, like a darker kind of sound. Alright, so with no effects added, I mean that's what you get. And I can definitely understand why right off the bat people were really iffy about this unit and didn't like it. And I can understand those frustrations because I felt the same way when I first got it. So I'm going to show you just a finished patch. This is a patch that I've worked on that I've done in an earlier video. And this is like the end result. The patch I'll make in this video will sound a little different, but this is just a general example of a finished tone. Hopefully you can see the difference right off. There's after some tweaking and some EQing and adding certain effects, it can really open up and become a lot more suitable for recording and demo stuff. Alright, so I'm going to show you my process from beginning to end and work through it like that. Alright. Alright, so the first thing you're going to do, this might not make any sense at all, but you're going to have to get on the unit itself and pick an amp. Just choose one. Then from that point on, you can go to your desktop with the HD Edit software and choose the amp that you want. Like I said, I'm using the Bomber Uber amp, so that's how we do that. The reason why, I don't know why it does this, I don't know, maybe it's because of something on my unit or maybe every unit does this, but if you just go to the HD Edit and pick the amp that you want, it'll say something like how I'm using the Bomber Uber, it'll say Bomber Uber preset, and that takes away certain parameters that you'll need to edit and tweak on later on while you're making your patch. I don't know why it does that, but but that's how you get around that. So first thing you're gonna do is these are just the basic settings that I do for every patch that I make. I'll back the drive down to about halfway. Take the bass back, it's about 25. I'll put my mids on about 60. A little bit more mids. I'll dial the treble up about 70. I'll leave the presence where it is for right now and back the volume back about 45. Okay, after that, you're going to want to change your cab to the XXL V30 because it's the best. Then you're going to choose the SM57 off axis. You're going to take the master down to 25%. You're going to do the same thing to the sag. You're going to take the bias all the way down. That's what helps the amp run a little hot when it gets your saturation going. But for the tightness that you want, you're going to want that basically gone. And then here, you take the ER down to 0. And basically what that does is like whatever the percentage is, it's like a simulation of how close or far away the mic is from the actual speaker cab. So you want as tight of a sound as possible, so you put it on 0. Alright, so you got that. Alright, now let's hear how that sounds. Still pretty muddy, but definitely getting there. It's a lot tighter than it was before. So when you're working on to the next phase of what you're getting on is you're gonna go to your effects. Obviously, you're gonna want to get some noise gate going on. Set that thresh to about 60. Take the decay back. We'll put on 25 for now and see what happens. Then next, you're gonna put a screaming pedal, take the drive all the way back. You're gonna take the tone all the way to 100%, output 100%. And we're gonna add another screamer. And do the same thing, except you're going to leave the tone knob alone on this one and have the output at 100%. We're going to throw another noise gate. Do the same thing with threshold 60. Put the decay on 25. Alright, now with just those effects, let's hear what we got. It's getting really tight. And that's exactly what you want. It sounds a lot clearer, a bit more punchy, but we're not exactly where we want to be. Now all those effects go before the amp, as you can clearly see. Then after that is when you kind of start adding the EQs. Alright, you're going to choose the parametric EQ, and just to go through it, you're going to leave the highs and stuff alone. You're going to take that Q all the way up to 100% and take the gain all the way down. Now this frequency is a little tricky. What that does is kind of eliminate the boxiness, like the boxy kind of sound, and kind of clean up the signal just a little bit and give it a bit more of a bit more attack sounding, so it doesn't sound as woofy. So to kind of get that, what you want to do is take that and just kind of chug it while moving this percent knob over until you get to kind of where you want to be. So. Now I find that either 30 or 25% works best, regardless of what guitar I've used. I think maybe like for 7-string stuff, maybe 30%. You kind of want to back off a little bit more for the 8-string because of the low tuning. So then after that, you got your parametric EQ set up. You're gonna throw on another EQ, and this one is a bit more tricky to get down. Lots of chugging is gonna have to go on for you to get to where you want to be, but for the sake of time, I'm gonna throw on some settings. The HP frequency kind of gives a bit more bass response. Same thing. The HPQ kind of makes it louder, I guess. LP frequency kind of opens up the highs. I think maybe about 75% usually does pretty good. LP about 70, gain all the way back. Okay. Let's see how that sounds. That sounds awesome. I left off one tip. The RES level, you're going to bring that up to about 80. That gives you a bit more volume without thinning out your EQ. So that'll really kind of bring it up, and then you'll basically have a tone like this when it's all over with. And from that point on, you can just kind of tweak this to what you want. You can add more mids, take some treble off. Yeah, I like that a whole lot Alright, one last effect to add, and then you're done. You can add some compression on. And do that, you go to the noise gate and change the effect to the tube compressor. That'll really bring it out, but you'll have to cut the amp back a little bit. It's about 30%. I say that's probably a good safe place to go so that you don't clip, and see what you get. And basically, man, that's it right there. As far as just like the basic metal tone. Usually at the end of every patch, I'll have one effect left, and I usually just put a delay on it, and just a basic ping pong delay will really help out. Alright, so I hope that this video helped you with making patches on your Pod HD. I'm gonna go ahead and upload this patch to my Line 6 account, which you can find the link to that in the description, and I got all the tones that I've ever made. Then you can kind of use this patch as a reference to go by, or or not, because you think it might suck or whatever, And it's just as far as any tip, as far as I'm concerned, it's just trust your own ears, man. You know what you want, and just keep messing with it until you find something, and download presets to not use, but use as a guide to compare as far as what you're making. I always tell people that when they say that the pod sucks, I say, well, use my patches, and I say that just as a frame of reference. I'm like, okay, so this is what you can get as far as what you're getting. So if you're getting crap tones and mine, I believe that mine are really great. So if I'm able to get that, this is something that you can do. Look at how I did what I did, and so on and so forth. And make great tones without spending a buttload of crap, a ton of money, man. Because man, that aspect is high, bro. You're gonna catch me buying that thing. Not anytime soon, anyway. Maybe when I'm touring with a few albums under my belt, I have one. But yeah, enough rambling. This is Seiji. Peace out.